the recording now.
Okay.
Oh, I did it. So
Oh, you did it? Oh, my bad.
Okay. Marissa, you probably figured out without this wonderful team, we'd be dead in the water. From a technology standpoint, we have a few challenges. It's just that simple. Good morning, everybody. It's now 11 o'clock where I am. I'm in Nashville, but it's 9 o'clock on the Pacific Coast. It's 12 noon in New York, and it's 5 o'clock in London. And I want to welcome you to the Newbie User Group meeting. Thank you very much for attending. There's going to be a lot of you here today, so we're going to take a few minutes to allow people to sign in. We had slightly over 700 people RSVP for the meeting, and we don't expect all 700 on the call, but we do expect a large number of people on the meeting today. So what we'd like you to do, if you don't mind, is go into the chat and just tell us where you're from. We kind of like to know where people are from, and if you are in a place that's cold, tell us how cold it is out there. The East Coast of the United States is experiencing blizzard conditions right now. We got California in the house in Los Angeles. Thank you for being here. We got Louisiana, Orlando. These are nice warm places. I love to see that. Lindsay Meyer in Nashville. Glad to see you.
I saw someone from Newfoundland, Canada. I bet it's cold out there.
I'll bet it is too. I didn't see that. Oh.
It's super cold. It's super cold in Germany as well. -10 degrees Celsius. So quite cold for us.
And some you can do the math.
-24 Celsius in Alberta, Canada.
There you go. Seattle's in the house. Andrew, I see you there, and we're glad to have you aboard. We're going to do the tech check on the fly when it comes time. So we know you're there. So, okay, Massachusetts is there. Oh, there's Newfoundland again. It's -6 degrees. I'm going to assume that's -6 degrees Celsius. I don't know. Okay. Baton Rouge. I know you guys are nice and warm. Okay, we're going to wait just Elizabeth, you got 54 degrees. That sounds balmy. Okay. And we got somebody from Houston. Okay. Klaus, let's go ahead and get started. People will be coming in, and we can continue with that. Just a few housekeeping rules. Like I said, there's going to be a lot of you on the call today, so you've probably already noticed that your audio and video have been turned off. We do want to communicate with you, and we'll want you to communicate with each other. And please use the chat to do that, so you can talk back and forth with each other, and you can also talk with us. But if you have a question for the presenters, or you have a question on what we are presenting, please do that in the Q&A. And please do that in the Q&A, because with as many people that are going to be on this call, it's hard to follow up or hard to keep up with the chat. And we do want to answer your questions, and we do want to isolate them in the question and answer. Now, everything is being recorded. We're recording already. The recording will be available probably the first of next week out on the Newbie User Group site. This is our 3rd year. Klaus, happy anniversary. We've been doing this for 2 full years now. Okay?
3 years already. That's unbelievable.
Yeah. It seems like yesterday we started this, but this is the start of the 3rd year, and we know that a lot of you are new. Maybe you haven't attended any of our meetings. This group is your group. This is dedicated, to the data family members. We call ourselves a newbie group, but you don't have to be just a newbie. If you just want to improve your skills, you're certainly welcome here. We try to meet 7 times a year, and that's going to work out to be every 6 to 8 weeks. And in that, the format for the meeting is there are two primary presentations. Klaus and I do a session that we call How Does That Work? We take a deep dive into a feature within Tableau. And then we have a guest speaker, or today we have 2 guest speakers who come and speak on a specific topic. Now, the way we get those topics is you suggest them. You tell us what you want to hear about. And then we try to keep it keep the content of the meeting toward the new to intermediate user level. But by all means, what we want you to do is we want you to have some fun out here. So please let us know that you're having fun, and please let us know if you've got some questions along the way. Klaus, let's go to the next slide here. Well, here's what we're going to do today. After we get done with these introductions, Klaus and I are going to do a session on transitioning from Excel to Tableau. And as you'll see later, we've got the full year kind of planned out on what we want to do. And our intention is to help users transition from, we say Excel, could be Google Sheets, could be any sort of spreadsheet calculator. They pretty much all work alike. And how do you make that transition into Tableau? And then we've got two very special guests here today. Marissa Domino Burns is from Salesforce. Wave at everybody, Marissa, so that they can see you out there. And Andrew Grinniker is from Tableau. And they are going to talk to us about the Tableau and the Salesforce community and how you can get involved. There are all sorts of opportunities for you to get involved and opportunities for you to not just participate, but also learn from others who are already out there. After that, hopefully we're going to have time and we're going to have some fun with the Kahoots quiz. Guaranteed there will be no money, no prizes, but you get bragging rights. You get to tell all your friends how good you are. Okay, let's go to the next one, Klaus. Okay, I told you we kind of laid out, Klaus and I laid out the year. What we want to do this year, and we felt like year 3 we should start at the beginning again and lay out how we would see, and through our own experience, how we came to Tableau and what we had to learn. And today we're going to talk about transitioning from Excel to Tableau, and then we're going to go on and we're going to take a look at some other specific topics. We've got another slide we're going to talk about this. But the meeting dates have already been set for March, and that's March the 6th and April the 18th. If you're in the US, we have to translate that. If you're in Europe, you understand that format means. Klaus, let's go to the next slide. Now, we want you to save the date for the March 6th meeting. We got two rather well-known guys, Ken and Kevin Flerledge, are going to speak. They're going to be our guest speakers on the 6th. You can scan that code right now and sign up for that meeting. And I've got a little bet with these two guys on just how many people are going to sign up today. Now, the record people signing up actually during the presentation is about 250. So let's see if we can have more people sign up for the March meeting during our presentation today than that 250 that we have as a personal record.
I'm sure we will.
Yeah, well, I've heard of these two guys before. I understand they're pretty good, Klaus. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Also welcome from my side. And before we jump into our topics for today, we like to introduce the team because, as you can imagine, I mean, you hear Jim and me talking a lot here in these meetings, but we are a lot more in the team who make these meetings possible. And we've come up with this little bar chart, and I invite all team members to introduce themselves. I will start. My name is Klaus. I'm from Münster in Germany, and I've been using Tableau for almost 6.5 years now. I started in 2017. I work at university in Münster, at Münster University of Applied Sciences, and I'm also proud to be a visionary, been in the program for some years now, and founded this newbie tag together with Jim. Laura, do you want to go next?
Laura?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Laura. As you can see on the chart, I've been using Tableau for around 2 years. I work in a law firm, and most of my experience with Tableau have been doing a lot of Tableau prep as well as data structuring for Tableau. So this group has been fantastic because I get to learn new things every day. Since I work in finance, Excel is our blood and butter. I don't know what to say, but yeah, Excel is our main driving force. So we are trying to switch over a lot of reports from Excel to Tableau. So this is going to be a fantastic session for me, and I hope for everybody as well.
Maddie?
Hi, everybody. I'm Maddie. I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana. So happy to have Salesforce people on the call. Your tower is right next to mine. I'm in Regents. I work for a public or a private grant making foundation, but I work with primarily public and government data in Tableau. So I use Tableau Prep a lot.
Reyes?
Hey everyone, I'm Reyes Murrieta. I've been using Tableau for about 3 years now. I work for Zoetis, an animal pharmaceutical company, and I've been using Tableau within the organization for the past 3 years. Based out of Fort Collins, Colorado, but currently traveling and using Tableau on the go.
Okay. And Viraj?
Hi everyone, this is Viraj. I'm from Mumbai, India. I am a lead analyst in Merkle, and as I always say, I'm newbie at heart, always learning new things with Tableau. Happy to be here.
And Viraj is one of the Tableau ambassadors. And my name is Jim Daner. I'm in Nashville, Tennessee. Klaus and I co-founded this group 3 years ago, and we're really proud to have you here. I'm also a visionary, and I may have met some of you out on the forum. If you're familiar with the community forum, it is a place where you go to get answers. If you have questions, go to the forum, post your questions. I guess I have to say this. Just yesterday, I reached a new threshold level. We get points for answering questions. I reached 500,000 points yesterday, which is an all-time high record for the forums.
I would have mentioned that, Jim.
You would have mentioned that? Okay, you can go ahead and mention it. I really don't like to talk about myself in that vein, but you can go ahead and mention it.
Yeah, Jim is a superstar in the community forums, and also the community forums, if you're a newbie, is a great place to start, to learn from your peers, and just to dig into different topics and to get started slowly. Okay. Yeah, today we want to kind of set the scene for the year with this kind of overview topic. So the entire year will be about transitioning from spreadsheets to Tableau. And we thought for today we give a kind of an overview what the topics are and what from our point of view is crucial to make a successful transition.
Yeah. Klaus and I laid out the schedule, if you will, and we're going to start with understanding what the data structure is, because if you've used Excel and you've started using Tableau, the whole underlying structure and the architecture of the two are totally different. Excel, as in all spreadsheet type calculators, are cell based, where Tableau is database driven, and it's a world of difference, and it's something you really have to understand. From then, we're going to go on and we're going to take a look at how do you connect data sets together and how do you modify data so that it works well in Tableau, because the format of doing that, the syntax for doing that is very different than what you do in a spreadsheet calculator. Then we'll get on to some basic concepts like the order of operations, aggregations, and doing calculations, and the fundamentals that you need to know before you can really go out and create custom visualizations and make Tableau do what you want it to do. Once you get the basics down, we'll start looking at interactivity on your dashboard and how to make different parts of the dashboard work together. And then we'll talk about how to do storytelling and how to create insights from what you've done in your dashboard. Now, there's an advanced topic there. Klaus, do you want to talk about that, advanced analytics?
Yeah, actually, I don't want to talk in depth about that, because this is somehow completing the picture. So there is so much more to do in the Tableau platform, and on all these advanced topics, there are communities and there are groups within the community that focus on these parts. But we've somehow defined that out of scope for our newbie stack, because this is just the second step, or even the third step, if you want, on your transition from Excel to a Tableau user. And since we are already in our third year, we've already done lots of sessions on these different topics. So what we'd like to invite you to do is to sign up to our YouTube playlist. and you will already find various presentations on the different topics. We already spoke about data connections, about calculations, about basic charts, about dashboards, about Tableau Cloud and Tableau Server. So there is already a lot of content. And if you can wait for the next meeting, just use the time in between and look into our YouTube playlist. Today we will zoom into one little aspect of this curriculum, and we will talk about data structure today, because that is, in my opinion, the most crucial part for making a start in Tableau and develop from an Excel user to something more, maybe. What do you think about that, Jim?
I think we're about ready to go here. One comment I would make: all of us come to Tableau at a different point in the journey. So if what we're talking about today, if you're really comfortable with that, go out to that playlist. We have covered a variety of topics out there, and you'll find something maybe more appropriate to your question today. I saw in the Q&A a lot of people were asking about, is this session going to be recorded? Yes, it's going to be recorded, and that recording will be added to the playlist probably next week. Klaus, let's go into the demo.
Yeah. Okay, so we thought, how could we start this journey, and we thought about what could be a typical starting point, and maybe many of you are using Excel at the moment, and we are quite sure that some of you have heard something like this: "Hey, Klaus, bring this table to Tableau." So this looks like a typical spreadsheet table. We have several columns, several rows. We have some totals, and this should be quite easy to do in Tableau as well. So let's see how that looks. So of course, I am able to connect this table to Tableau. Let's go to the data source page. You see I'm connected to this cross tab. You see here I have my subcategories, and I have my different columns with the different month and the sales in the body of the table. So I'm not saying I should connect to a table like this in Tableau, but I'm able to do this. But then if this is your starting point, you might run quite quickly into issues. For example, you might want to see the totals in this table. And we can show totals in Tableau by going to the analysis menu and then, for example, enable the column grand totals. You see, we get the totals like expected, so that is working nice. And then let's also show the row grand totals. So I would expect something here popping up on the right. Let's see. Oh, did I miss it to click? Oh no, it's activated, but I don't see anything. And then you might think, okay, maybe I have to calculate the result here. Okay, we can create calculated fields. Like, for example, if I wanted to see the Q4 sales, I could do something like this is sum of October plus sum of November plus sum of December. Yeah, then I get my Q4 sales and I'm good. But this is actually not very different from what you do today in Excel. And this cannot be how you want to use a tool like Tableau. And the total is not showing up because Tableau is not designed to work with data like you do in Excel. And the first thing you need to understand when you want to do this transition from Excel to Tableau is how you need your data to be structured, that you can do things like summing up a month to quarters or to a year, for example. And one of the key concepts to make this transition is the concept of tidy data. And that is actually how you need your data to be structured if you want to use it in Tableau. And the concept of tidy data is quite simple. It says that for each variable in your data set, you need one column. Yeah. So in my sales data, that would mean I have my subcategories. Then I have the date, the month we had the sales. These were my column headers in my Excel file. And we have the sales, which is the body of the table in my Excel table. Yeah, so these are my columns. Then I have observations. Each row is an observation. So for each row, I have a value for subcategory, date, and sales. So first row, accessories, January 2125. And I have as many rows as I need in my for my data. And then the combination of rows and columns, that is my table, my observational unit. Yeah, so this is the way we need our data to be structured. And then we have very different options than we had before when I summed up this this quarterly results.
Okay. Just a comment here, Klaus, on this particular slide. Whenever I get a question in the forum and I open up on the previous slide and I open up their workbook and I see this on the previous slide, Klaus.
Oh, this one here.
Yeah. Whenever I see in the measure value a list of green pills like that, I know that the data is not structured properly.
Yeah.
Okay. And then now we can go to the solution. How do we fix that, Klaus?
No, it's actually quite simple to fix. So let's go to the data source page. So I'm editing my data source, and here I'm seeing my columns, and all I need to do is to transform this structure to have this this desired structure of one variable, one column for each variable. And what I need to do here is to pivot my my columns. So you can do that by selecting the columns you want to pivot, then right-click and hit pivot. And this will give us a column for the previous column headers, which is actually my date, and one column for the values, which is my sales. So I get an error now because I used these fields already in a view, so I can get rid of them here. So delete them, and I can also hide this one. So after this transformation step, I'm only keeping date, subcategory, and sales. And what I also want to do, let's go back to the data source page, is to format the column accordingly. So date should be a data type of date. So let's just change this, and I get my date as a date data type as well. And now, this is actually a huge difference to what you can do in Excel, because now we can just drag on the pills as we need them. For example, the subcategory here, and we can put date on columns. We could make it a quarter, for example. Bring in the sales. We can add our totals, the column grand totals again, and in this case also the row grand totals. Yeah, because now we have the structure as we need it to work with this data in Tableau. We can switch to month, and we can do whatever we want. Or we can even combine month and quarter and be super flexible in the analysis that we want to do. And this is now quite different from what you can do in Excel. I mean, you can always create these extra columns and extra rows in Excel, but it's just way faster to do in Tableau than you can do it in Excel. Okay, so this is one typical issue. Yeah? You have column headers that are values, and you have to transform this structure to make it work in Tableau. I've brought another example. So this is kind of my dummy example. So look at this table. So we have a country for a specific year. And pretty much like in my first example, we have column headers here that are actually values. And in this case, it's not just a value for one variable, but for two. So we have M and F for male and female, and we have these numbers representing age groups. Yeah. So if you restructure this table, again, we get a country, one variable, one column. We have the year, that's a second column. We have the sex, our third column, the age group, our fourth, and the cases here from the body from the table as our fifth column. I also prepared a table for this example. And again, like Jim said, again, suspicious, lots of measures here on measure values, and you see something similar. So we have one column for each quarter for each region.
I guess I should mention here that Klaus teaches finance, and very often you'll get data in this type of structure out of an accounting system, or out of an ERP system. Go ahead, Klaus.
Absolutely. And now let's again see how we can restructure this data. So first step, again, the pivot. So I grab all my columns from the table here, and I pivot this. Okay, and here now I get my values, my column, my previous column headers, and this is now the date and the region, and I get my values, which is my sales already. Let's again get rid of these here. Okay, so this is already looking better, but still we haven't the desired structure of one column for each variable, because we still have date and region in one column. So all we need to do here is to do a split. And Tableau splits up the date, in this case, the quarter and the region. We could now do some more transformation on this part here to make it our quarter. And let's just rename this to region. And we would now be able to use this, for example, in this setting, let's have the subcategory, the region, the quarter, and bring in our sales. Again, create the totals, column and row grand totals, or maybe even some subtotals. So we have lots of options here as well. Yeah. Again, quite quick, a quite quick transformation, and this allows us to do, to use the features, for example, for totaling within Tableau instead of creating custom calculations that you would have to do in Excel. A third example, maybe. So, I mean, you've been in the wild and as well as we are, and we've all seen crazy tables out there. And this is a third example where we have variables in columns, like here an ID of a weather station, like a year, a month. But we also have variables within rows. So here, this is a maximum temperature, minimum temperature. And again, this is a table that you can connect to Tableau, but you can't do anything meaningful with this in Tableau. And what you need to do is, again, to restructure this table to have this tidy data format with one column for each variable, in this case, our ID, the date, so even combining year, month, and the days here from the column headers, the maximum temperature and the minimum temperature. And this transformation actually already requires a few more steps. This is actually not possible to do in Tableau on the data source page in Tableau Desktop. But there is another tool in the Tableau platform, which is called Tableau Prep. And with Tableau Prep, you can do some more advanced data modeling and data cleaning. And this is what I want to do here for this example. So I'm already connected to that table. I'm using it here with Superstore. So I built a similar structure. We have a customer name, a year, a month. Then I have some columns representing days. And there's also a variable measure, and I'm having quantity and sales on specific days of a month. Again, a not very meaningful and sensible table, but sometimes it is just like this, and we have to deal with it. So what can we do to transform this in Tableau Prep? In Tableau Prep, you can add little transformation steps, like just a simple cleaning step, or joins, or unions, or in this case, like in the previous examples, we again need a pivot. Yeah, so here I can select my columns that I want to pivot and drag them over here. And you see here at the right side already how my table is restructuring. The pivot names, pivot one names, these are my previous column headers, which represent my days. And these represent, the values represent my measures, which can be quantity or sales at the moment. And then you see we have this giant amount of null values. I can already get rid of them. So I exclude them. And you see, okay, now for each customer on each day, I have quantity and sales. So let's now bring these two measures as columns into my table. Therefore, I need another pivot step. And I'm transforming, in this case, rows to columns. And the column headers are stored in my measure variable, and the values are in my quantity. Oh, that was the wrong one. In my quantity or sales variable. Yeah, and you see we are already getting close. We have sales, we have quantity, we have the day, the customer, the year, and the month. And the last thing I want to do is to transform year, month, and days to a date, like this. And we can use custom calculations like the make date function to be used with year, month, and days. I'm getting an error. Let's see what went wrong here. So year is an integer, month is an integer, days is a string. So I need to transform this into an integer as well, and we can do that data conversion right within the function. And like this, we get a date. Should work, yes. And we can get rid of the columns we don't need anymore, like this. And we could then output that table to Tableau as a hyperfile and use it in Tableau Desktop. This is probably way too quick to follow, but just to give you an idea of how that transformation works. Yeah, and we are always coming back to this desired structure of tidy data, one column for each variable, and we have, in this case, a date, we have sales, we have quantity, and we have the customer. And so this is all we need to work with this data in Tableau.
Okay. Klaus, when I see questions in the form, I usually end up getting two different types of questions, particularly when we show prep. Typical response is, geez, I don't think I have prep. If you have a creator license, or anybody in your organization has a creator license, you have access to prep. You own prep at that point. You just may not know it, and you may have to talk to your system admin to get access to prep. By all means, consider using it because it's a great, great tool. Klaus?
Yeah, and again, with regards to our YouTube playlist, we had Carl Arkin and Jenny Martin as guest speakers in the previous years. So they did some introductive presentations on Tableau Prep, and I highly recommend to watch these. And I will also share another resource on prep in a second. Okay, where do I need to go? Here. Last example, also typical issue you might run into, and that issue is you have one type of table. So in this case, we have monthly sales data in different tables. And to bring this to a tidy structure, we actually need to combine those tables into one, because you might want to sum these up, and therefore they need to be in one table. Yeah, again, simple table. I have one table again for my Superstore subcategories with profit and sales. And let's go to the data source page. So we are connected to the Superstore sales from October 2023. And you see there are two other tables for November and October. And to combine these into one, I need to do a union. And I can do a union here on the data source page by converting that logical table to a union. And then I can just drag and drop the additional tables here to the union. You see Tableau will then add two columns for the sheets and the table names, which are identical in this case. So I can hide one of those. I can rename this to the date, because the sheet name actually includes the date. And then you can also do the data type conversion to a date, and Tableau is smart enough to realize that the Superstore sales can be stripped off and just keep the date and transform it to a properly working date. So we can then again use the date here, for example, as the month, and have all the data combined in one table, and then again do different visualizations, creating totals, whatever you want. Okay, so maybe to wrap it up, data structure really crucial when you want to do that transformation. And since we mentioned Tableau Prep and these little prep steps within Tableau Desktop, if you want to do more here, we can highly recommend the Prep in Data Challenge, which is a weekly challenge happening on Twitter and LinkedIn. And there's a website, and there are weekly challenges since 2019 or even 2018, I guess. And what I always recommend to my students is take 30 minutes or 45 minutes a week and do one challenge a week. And within a year, you have seen all possible types of tables and transformation tasks that can occur in the real world. And by practicing them, you learn the tool, and you learn a lot about data structuring and how data needs to be designed to work within Tableau. Jim, what do you think?
I think we're there, Klaus. By all means, take advantage of Prep. It's a great tool. It's a tool that you really need to become familiar with to restructure your data, and your data has to be in a proper structure to really use Tableau to its fullest. I think we're ready to move on. We've got a couple of questions that you might want to follow up with in the Q&A, but I think we're there at this point, Klaus.
Okay, good.
Okay, I want to introduce our guest speakers. We have two today. Klaus, can we go to the next slide? Klaus is driving this presentation from Germany, so there's a little time delay here. We're thrilled to have two different speakers today. First, Andrew is joining us from Seattle, and I think it's even snowing in Seattle. I'm not sure, but when they get snow in Seattle, the entire place shuts down. And Marissa is actually out of Boston, but she's in Vermont. And I know there's snow because she turned her camera around earlier to show us the snow that's there. Andrew is the director. He's got one of these fold-out business cards. He's got so many titles, it's unbelievable. But he is the director of community marketing at Tableau. And what that is all of the people that support and run the visionary programs, the recognition programs, the ambassador programs, the blogs, the events, Iron Biz programs, all of those things. Those all report up through Andrew. And I've known Andrew for a couple of years. He's really, really a great guy. Tremendous sports enthusiast. My heart beats for you a little bit about what happened Monday night. We won't go any further than that. Marissa is in Salesforce. She is the senior community manager with over 1,000 Trailblazer community groups reporting in through that structure. So you've got two of the, when it comes to understanding community, the larger community with the big C and all the resources available either through Tableau or through Salesforce, we've got two of the absolute best people to help us out understand that today. And Andrew, I think you're going to lead off. And if you want to go ahead and share your screen, we're ready to go.
Yeah. Can you hear me okay?
We hear you just fine.
Perfect. Thank you for the introduction. Yes, we will not talk about Monday night, but it's okay. We got there. And first of all, for those that are not familiar with the forums, an unbelievable and incredible milestone for Jim to hit 500,000 points. For those that get to 50,000 or 100,000, we celebrate those that have done an incredible impact in the community, and Jim's gotten to 500,000. So I just wanted to just give Jim another shout out there for that. That's incredible. Okay, let me make sure my screen is all set up here and ready to go. As Jim said, I'm Andrew Grunacher. I work at Tableau. I've been at Tableau for 6.5 years, so I've been part of the ride even before Salesforce acquisition. Actually, really close to when we went public, and I've been on the community team since 2020, the first start of 2020. So let me share my screen here. Okay, I think you can see my screen.
Gotcha.
All right. So you're going to see some familiar faces for some of you that are familiar with some of our ambassadors and visionaries. We've got Eric and Autumn here, two fantastic people. If you have not met them and interacted with them, Eric runs his Back to Viz Basics community projects, which you should definitely check out. And Autumn Batani, fantastic. Okay. So I'm going to give you kind of an overview. We're going to run through a few different scenarios of where you can connect kind of with the Tableau community. This is kind of what we kind of look at as our overview slide. We do have a URL in there. I will drop in some additional URLs before the sort of we move and leave from here. But we have a welcome page where you can kind of dig in and learn more. You can just start at tableau.com/community, and there'll be a ton of resources there as well. But just giving you an idea of just the sheer amount of volume and resources that exist out there. So we've got over 8 million Tableau public visualizations and dashboards to inspire you. We've got over 400,000 folks that have gone into the forums and answered questions before, 500 plus blogs. You see the user groups. And this slide actually needs to be updated. Some of you that follow us on Twitter, we actually just hit a 3 million milestone for our students and teachers, empowering them with Tableau licenses, which is honestly one of my favorite parts about working at Tableau is giving students free licenses. I think it's been incredibly impactful, and hopefully some of you are out there that it started with Tableau at Inter University. So, okay, so the data fam. When you hear the data fam, some of you probably are very familiar with it, but it's the global community. Really, what drew me in so much to working on the community is just how many people are willing to volunteer and dedicate their time, and really just being open and helpful and helping support you on your data journey. So you'll see here on the bottom, we've got inspire, learn, connect, grow. So I'm going to kind of touch and connect on each one of those areas just to see where there might be an opportunity for you to dig in. There are going to be a lot of resources, a lot of opportunities. You don't have to go and try every single one of these. Really figure out what is your niche, what you're looking for in sort of your data journey. You might want to focus more on learning. You might want to focus more on connecting with others. You might want to just look for inspiration and examples to build on within specific job or industry. So don't feel like you have to go explore all these opportunities. So Kimberly Scott, for those that don't know her, fantastic visionary, public ambassador, Iron Viz finalist, just an all-around rock star. I see Jim smiling already, just knowing that he's interacted with Kimberly's. But she said some of her best ideas are inspired by our community on Tableau Public. So for those that haven't, public.tableau.com, I'm sure you have. Go there. It's always a great source of inspiration. And there's a ton of different options you can do with Tableau Public. And I always bring this up because I know people have used Tableau Public, but I want to make sure they know all the options they have to do with this. So you can download a lot of these workbooks to see how people have made these visualizations, which I think is incredibly powerful. Instead of just being inspired, you can actually download it. You can play around with it, reverse engineer it, figure out how certain charts and graphs and different areas have been built. We also have the Hire Me profile badge that you can activate on Tableau Public by creating a profile that help you land work. And we've had several people that have landed jobs and also contract and freelance work there. Obviously, you can search on Public and get a bunch of different visualizations by keyword or hashtag. You can sign up for a visit of the day to get that. But there's also free sort of tools and access, right? Web authoring and desktop access on Tableau Public. And then build your portfolio, right? This is a place for you to build your portfolio. You can send people to where you are. So just want to make sure everyone's aware of kind of all those options. You can discover so much at Tableau Public. Honestly, sometimes I put it to the test, put any sort of keyword in there, search for anything. It's almost a guarantee that something's going to show up when you're dealing with the visualizations. Okay, so Inspire, there's a few different areas you can dig into. So you can install Tableau Public. You can get on the Tableau forums, get inspired by new product ideas, share your own. We're obviously here getting inspired by Tableau user groups. Tableau conference coming up here, not very far away at the end of April. I'll quick shout out to that at the end. But these are just some inspiration opportunities here for you to dig in. I will also drop a link into this if you haven't signed up for this for the day. But I will put a link in here for you to sign up if you want to. I know some of you are maybe on your phone, so I don't think it's possible to actually scan a QR code while you're actually on your phone there. So, we also want to empower learning. So I'll dig into this. So Alice McKnight, for those that know her, again, another fantastic person. But when I decided to learn Tableau, the data fan welcomed me. They not only made me more technically proficient, they made me a more thoughtful data visualization designer. So focusing on kind of the learn aspects, if you're really looking to dig in and learn, obviously this is a fantastic forum for that, right? Klaus just showed us a really great opportunity to learn about bringing Excel into Tableau. But some of the other areas on the Tableau forums, post your questions and get answers specifically. I know that a lot of people have eliminated those barriers of oh my gosh, I'm stuck. I spent hours on this thing, really connecting with folks on the forums. Another area that I've heard a ton of growth in personal growth is on our community-led projects. So if you haven't taken part in those, highly, highly recommend that. Makeover Monday, Back to Viz Basics, Workout Wednesday. Honestly, we're up to, I think it's close to 15 or 20 of these community projects. You can find those on our welcome page. They're great ways to get hands-on and also get feedback from the community. And then lastly, I'm not going to steal Marissa's thunder. She will go into some of this, I'm sure, on the Trailblazer side. But get on Trailhead. There are a ton of opportunities to expand your data knowledge on topics like data literacy, Tableau products, and more. So that's on the Learn side. And I will also provide a link to this, but there is a data literacy Trailhead that highly, highly recommend, not only for you, but for your coworkers. Even if they don't use Tableau, it is an incredibly powerful trailhead for them to learn the basic principles of data, which is really, really helpful when you are trying to drive that data culture inside of your organization, for them to understand the terms and some of the things you're talking about, so that you don't get them, getting lost in some of the language and the theories that you're going through. So I will share that out as well. We just have a couple other sections here, but connection is obviously a huge opportunity that the Data Fam provides and promotes. and Sadam McCall, who's a data insights analyst in Washington, D.C. And he actually helped us originally start our analytics Tableau user group. The community is the most welcoming, insightful, respectful group I've ever met. There's always a way to learn and build your skills, but even more importantly, you build a data community and family. It's hard to honestly drive the connection. I'm sure if I talk to Klaus and Jim and Viraj and others that are on this call, they could come up with a dozen connections and relationships and friendships that they've made as part of this data fam. And so it's really hard to validate the value, right? It's when you have that connection. So here are some opportunities to do that. Obviously here, attending Tableau user groups and events. Get social. So if you haven't done it before, you can connect with folks on Twitter and LinkedIn are great places for using the DataFam hashtag. You can also, like I said, attend user groups like this, join community-led projects. Sometimes that'll give you an opportunity to connect with folks. And lastly, come to Tableau conference. Huge opportunity. I always feel like the one area that I love the most about the Tableau community is how welcoming everyone is at Tableau conference and how excited folks like the ambassadors and visionaries are to welcome folks that are first timers to conference. So if you haven't attended, don't feel like there's any sort of concern about, I'm not advanced enough, or I haven't used Tableau enough, or I don't know where I want to, what sort of areas I want to learn. It's a fantastic conference for those that have just been started. And then the last section I have, I will share a link to that. And then the Data Fam elevates growth. So growth is another opportunity. Sean Miller, I feel like I'm just kind of like a repeating record here, but another fantastic individual in the community. Tableau Visionary Ambassador, user group leader, community project leader. My growth through the Tableau community has helped take my career places I never knew were possible. And Sean has definitely been giving back to the community, which is always something that we love. And just some areas to grow your career. And this depends on kind of where you're at in your career, right? This is maybe, like I said, not all these opportunities may present itself at this time, but emerge as a thought leader. You can speak at community events. I'm sure that user groups, if you have a good topic to talk about, they would love to discuss with you presenting on a user group call. We also offer opportunities which you can find a guest author on our community blog. And try to overtake Jim on your forum points and start answering questions on the Tableau forums. Or one thing I love that's really simple to do, and you don't have to be an expert in Tableau, is you can go search on the DataFam hashtag on social and welcome people into the community and say, hey, like, welcome. So a lot of people say, hey, first time posting, I'm here. Always nice to have additional voices welcoming them. And then we also have a data leadership collaborative, which is an opportunity for those that work specifically in data leadership. And then if you want to grow your career, probably one of the best opportunities is building that powerful portfolio on Tableau Public and using that Hire Me badge and showing the thing that you're doing, some of the work that you're doing. I understand some of you can't share all of your work on Tableau Public, depending on where your careers are at or what company you work for and your data's. Look at exploring dummy data and some of those things so that you can showcase the work that you're doing without exposing some of that data that is not publicly available and some of those things. So I believe I will run through some links here as I go through an email newsletter called our DataFam Digest that happens every 2 weeks, so twice a month. We send out all the events that are happening, the content we've published. It's a great way to stay on top of things. I will add a link to that. And then this is my last slide. And then the last pub I'm going to make, and this was not by accident, but this is my San Diego mug. My wife and I collect the We Are Here Starbucks series. I'm sure there's others that have done this. I pulled this one out this morning because, as you know, for Tableau Conference, we are going to San Diego. Extremely excited. mostly because it means it's not going to be in Vegas another year. But I'm also super excited about San Diego. I'm going to drop in a save the date link here in the chat. Go ahead and please access that. Fill in your email. We will make sure that you receive all the information. And you didn't hear it from me, but this is being recorded, so I guess I can't say that out loud. But registration is coming very soon. So please go check that out. If you provide your email, we'll be able to give you all the updates. Make sure you register on time. And we're really excited about San Diego. We have some really fun things planned. So hopefully we see you there. And I'm happy to, I'll be on obviously for the rest of the call. So I'm happy to answer any questions. And at this point, I think I will stop sharing, stop talking.
As we make the transition here to Marissa, I got 2 points for you, Andrew.
Yes.
First of all, everybody, tomorrow, same time, same place on your computer, you can attend the Tableau public user group. And if you've ever wondered about how some of these viz of the day are made and how they go about putting them together, that's the place to go, because they're going to show you how it's done. And they meet once a month. Eric Howard runs that group, a great group to be with. Second piece, tomorrow is the last day that you have the opportunity to thank someone who has helped you by nominating them to be a visionary. And you can go out, it's midnight tomorrow night, Pacific Coast time. Is that correct, Andrew? I think that's right.
You know what? I've got Britt. I just saw Britt put something in the chat. So Britt, there we go. Britt's confirming it.
Yeah, it's the opportunity you have to thank somebody by nominating them for a visionary. Marissa, are you ready to go?
I am ready to go, Jim.
Would you tell us about your dog, please? What kind of dog is it?
I will. He's a sheepadoodle. Hold on, I have a picture of him.
I've never heard of a sheepadoodle.
He's very fluffy. He's about to go out in the snow. He's putting on his snow boots right now. So you can see we prioritize him in our life. So and thanks, Jim, for having me. And Andrew, I feel like I tested that theory. Can I find any type of viz? And it's true. Any topic out there, you can find something. So anyway, it's been great learning from the Tableau team, the Tableau community. And I'm excited to share a little bit more about the Trailblazer community. Let me just share my screen, and I'll share a picture of Teddy, obviously, naturally, as I always try and do.
We got it.
You got it? Okay.
Yep.
That's Teddy. That's our sheepadoodle. As Jim mentioned earlier, I'm in Boston, although I'm joining you from snowy Vermont today. I ended up coming to Boston by way of DC. I've worked in community for a long time, specifically education communities. So I'll mention it, Andrew, Lego being the last one. And excited. It was always a lifelong dream to just come support the Trailblazer community since it's so passionate. There's really no way to describe the generosity and enthusiasm, I think, of many of our community members. So just a few things I'm passionate about to get to know you all better. This is one of my favorite quotes from Brian Owens. He's a Trailblazer. He's a Golden Hoodie recipient, which you might have seen those sparkly jackets if you've attended Dreamforce or Trailblazer DX, or even Adam Miko. Miko has his Golden Hoodie, so you might have seen him at TC sporting it. But when one of us shines, we all shine. Moira from Schitt's Creek, one of my favorite shows. But it is really true. We found, when you're working with the community versus kind of in your own lane, you're able to accomplish so much more. And, some studies we've run through the Trailblazer community, and this is true of Tableau community, of our MuleSoft community, Slack community, but you learn better, right? When you're turning to your peers for knowledge, whether that's in the forums or you're going to a user group meeting. And I don't know if anyone else feels this way, but if I repeat something and if I'm teaching you something that I've just learned, I'm more likely to retain it. My memory's not the best these days. So if I'm able to share that information back, it just cements it a bit more. And so we found that kind of cyclical relationship in our community. And then just a few more stats to throw at you. 3 out of 5 people found their job from their community connections in the Trailblazer community. I'm sure it's very similar in the Tableau community. And then 81% are more productive at their company just because you're able to put those skills to use and get those questions answered by maybe Jim in the forums. So what is the Trailblazer community? You've heard the word Trailblazer. These are, people around the world that are online. We have our user groups, or our community groups. Those could either be on the online forums or meeting in person. And we also have virtual meetings as well. And then we have our community-led events, which I honestly think are the special sauce of our community, or just for the community, by the community, where we just support, but we let everyone kind of take and build those connections themselves. This is just an overview of the online community. So very similar to Mind if you're in the Tableau forums. So you have your topics, your groups, your questions. We have our answer leaders. So Steve Moe, you might see his name in the forums. He's our Jim. You can connect with those online collaboration groups. So they're not meeting, but they're just there topical for you to 24/7 chat, ask your questions, and get your answers. And then obviously there's gamification built into all of this. And you can hop back and forth, as Andrew mentioned, between Trailhead, which again, #1 place to start, free if you're not in there already. I saw that, I think Laura, you posted the link to the Build Your Data Literacy Trail, maybe as a good place to get started and earn some points and kind of take it from there. So you can navigate back and forth between the online forums and Trailhead for learning. So it can be a little overwhelming when you enter there. So I just like to provide this quick screenshot of where to get started, and the tabs on the top are, you'll find the forums. You can add people to follow. You can save questions for later. And then you can just see your activity for things that you've shared as well, and mark anything as favorite. I have to mark things as favorite to figure out how to get back to where I was. So those would be my top tips for navigating in our forums. And then our user groups. So again, one of my all favorite aspects of our community, and the Boston, I saw there were a couple of Boston folks in there. The Boston user group community is incredible for Trailblazers. We have over 1,000 groups around the world. And so over 400 meetings a month, 80 countries. Just if you think of an area, there's most likely a group there. And if not, if you're interested in starting one or know somebody who is, you can always reach out to our team. But just similar to Tableau user groups, they're free. And I learn something new at every single one I go to. I meet someone new at every single one I go to. And our community tends to kind of travel. So when even if they're on vacation in another place, they pop into a user group meeting. So because it's more like a reunion, it's fun. And then we have our community-led events, as I mentioned. So you might see Dreamin' events out. It's kind of a play on Dreamforce. 2012, one of our community members, our Salesforce MVPs, Eric Dreschfield, said not everyone can attend Dreamforce. It's very expensive to get to San Francisco. And so he created this concept of a Dreamin' event. And Midwest Dreamin' was the first conference completely run by the community. I think they get over 1,000 attendees now. Some of them are smaller, 200, so it ranges from 200 to 1,000 attendees, again, around the world. And I'll talk about this in a sec. There's a couple fun ones that are coming up. And then Salesforce Saturdays. So, exactly as it sounds. There's a number of community members who will meet in a local town, city, and they just get together. Everyone brings their laptops. They just learn from one another on Saturday. And so there's a link. This is completely community-led to the list of the Salesforce Saturdays to see if there's one near you. And going back to Dreamin' events, I think coming up, we have Cactus Force in 2 weeks. So that's in Phoenix, Arizona. We have Japan Dreamin' coming up and Cairo Dreamin'. And those are all just within the next couple weeks. But the remainder of the year, the calendar's live. I absolutely adore these and feel like I learn. I mean, it's just pure content. It's pure community, peer-led content. So they're really fantastic. But wait, there's more. Anyone's familiar with the ShamWow commercials from, what was it, the 90s? Community on the go. So not everyone is, at your laptop logging into the community, but you can download the Trailhead Go mobile app. So that includes the community access to the forums, but it's also just Trailhead in your pocket. You could take trails if you're waiting in line, if you're, whenever you're using your phone. We also have a number of community podcasts, so I just linked to that there, depending on if your medium is audio and you prefer just to sit in your car and learn about Salesforce. There's a lot to choose from, a lot to get started. I recommend it. The Admin podcast is a really good one, Awesome Admins. And then Ohana Slack. So this is just another option. This is a community-led community. There's over 10,000 members. It was started by a beloved Salesforce MVP, a member of our community, Megan Broadkey, many years ago. And so it's on Slack. So obviously it moves pretty quickly, lots of content there, but it's open to anyone to join. And again, it's community-led, Salesforce supported. And just it could be overwhelming, especially if you're just starting to dabble in the Trailblazer community. You don't know if it's necessarily for you yet. I would, recommend creating your Trailblazer.me profile. I could pop the link in the chat just to get started in Trailhead. I also built out just a community trail. If you'd like to learn, I think there's a Tableau trail in there as well, just to earn some badges, figure out how to navigate around. If you are interested in learning more about the Trailblazer community groups, you can find your local group just to see if there's one located near you. And then the community, yes.
There is an excellent trailhead for new users on getting started in data visualization. It takes about 3 to 4 hours to do.
Awesome.
And it's a great way to get your feet wet in Tableau.
That's awesome, Jim. Great call out. I think I've done that one. I'll make sure I'm going to add that actually to my community trail. So you can build out your own trails. You call them like, trail mixes, and you can add whatever you find. So that's one I've created, but you can create your own and just kind of collect all of your interests in one area. The Community Cove is just exactly that. It's to get community announcements, community updates. Again, if you're interested in learning about upcoming events or, just dabbling, getting started. And then Trailblazer community on all the socials is a very active place, particularly on X, Twitter. People are, and LinkedIn, asking questions. There's people, who prefer to kind of provide content and YouTube playlists and everything on social there. So those are 2 great places to get to follow along. And then I just leave you with this quote. This is from Michelle Hansen. She's one of our Salesforce MVPs. She's a user group leader. There's a big world with room for everyone. Blaze your own trail at your own pace and be open to learning from everyone you meet. You might never have imagined where you'll end up, but you might just find yourself loving it. So just she often talks to newbies getting started. It could be, again, intimidating, but there's so much unity, so much room, and it's a really welcoming, warm group of people. So I hope to see you on the Trailblazer community side. And thanks, Jim. Thanks all for letting us share how to get started.
No, well, thank you for being with us today, and I want to thank Andrew also. To be honest with you, it's been a real treat to have both of you here at the same time. And I'm going to tell on you, Marissa's on vacation. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for doing this. We really do appreciate it. I think, Klaus, we might be ready to go on to a Kahoots quiz. Laura, are you ready with a Kahoots quiz for us? Laura, you're muted.
Hello. Yeah, I am now. I'm muted. I am ready. Let me just make a last-minute edit.
Okay, we'll make a last-minute edit here. And Andrew and Marissa, you're allowed to play also. But remember, there will be no prizes, no cash award here, but you do get bragging rights.
Let me just share the link to
Perfect.
Maddie.
Marissa and I have hung out enough times to know that I think she's probably as competitive as I am.
We're very competitive.
Now, I should tell you this. Laura makes up these quizzes on the fly. So you might see something that you talked about in the quiz today.
I might have some random stuff. I try to make funny jokes, but sometimes it doesn't work.
That's all right. I appreciate the on the fly. That's always a challenge. So.
It is a challenge, so I didn't pay too much attention to the chat. So sorry, everybody. Let me start again. I'll share my screen really quick.
Laura shares her screen. This group is fabulous, and our co-leaders are fabulous, and the work that they do is what really makes this group work.
Strength in numbers. That's definitely where I think we've seen a lot of success with the user groups is obviously you and Klaus getting this off the ground, but it has to be supported by other on the backs of others and to keep things going because this is all volunteer. So to ask one or two people to keep kind of the ship rolling, it's just not how it works. So, and I know that you guys having that support system is always important. So we as someone who works at Tableau, we greatly appreciate everybody's time and effort that you put into this because clearly you're doing something that is needed and wanted by, I think we peaked out at almost 350 people on the call today, which is fantastic. So
I'm ready to share, so I'm gonna share.
I think 350 plus 10, 15 on LinkedIn Live.
awesome.
Okay. Give me a minute. Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna get started. So I just want to show off what the visit of the day looks like. I love going here, one of my favorite places to go and find inspiration. I'm gonna start the quiz right now. Give me a minute, guys.
For those of you who don't know, there are data sets available on the Tableau public site also. So if you need some data to practice with, go on out there and download some data.
That's the pin. I can reduce the volume.
There we go.
Let me know if you guys want the sound or not, but if that sounds good, I can keep it. Otherwise, I can mute it.
Okay. There we go. Starting to get people now.
Awesome. I can't sign myself. I can't sign up. That's cheating. Let me make this full screen. Okay. Awesome. Also, just want to let everybody know that Viraj is basically our driver behind almost all of the Bevy things that we do. So he's the reason that we got the March event published the way it is. So thank you, Viraj, and congrats, Jim, for your 500K points, which is insane. This is the answer that I see every time I look. So awesome. I'm just gonna wait since we have like 200 people. I'm gonna wait until at least 100. If at least 30 more people can join. You guys can hear me, right? I just want to double check.
We can hear you.
Yeah, my video is like going on and off because I don't know what's going on. But
Okay.
I'll wait until
Yeah, we should.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
start. Yeah, 80 is good.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, we can hear
Okay.
you.
I'm gonna start now. Okay. Awesome.
Okay.
This is pretty. Hopefully. It's ready. Sorry, I'm in the office, so there might be some background noise, but
There is no background noise. Don't worry.
okay,
We're
awesome.
good.
But that is whoever chose stuff, that's also true. Let's see. Let's go to the next one. Let's see. Awesome, Trey.
Trey, Gaurav, and Daji.
I used a different terminology, but technically, I'm hoping I don't confuse everybody.
What is the most important concept for transition?
Yeah, I copied some stuff, so I don't know if you guys saw where Klaus had keep up totals. It was on the side, and I was kind of tricky with it. So I know he went by really fast. So I'm not. Good job, everybody. He went by really fast.
Nice.
I saw that he had that as a note on the side.
Yeah. It's
Awesome,
kind of
Trey.
you catch all the Easter eggs, Laura. In session.
I think I make it tough for everybody, but Maddie helped
Yeah.
me a lot with all these questions. So this
Oh,
is with Maddie.
wonderful,
Oh, this
man.
is Trey. Yeah, it was Trey. Yeah, this one Maddie helped me. Yeah, she gave me all the stuff. Yeah. I think there's a typo, but awesome. Yeah, so it is. He did change things on the data source
Data
page.
source.
But, oh,
And that's something you would learn more in our next session.
yeah. So yeah, you can.
Maddie, I think you're, there you go. Thank you.
Then I
That's
muted myself.
those were the special effects for Trey,
Thank
going
you.
on the top of the speed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. So you guys feel the excitement. Thank you, Maddie.
That's good.
This is also a question by Maddie, but I'm not sure. This is a trick question, I think.
I think it's a trick question. Hmm.
Ooh, yeah. So this is basically what Maddie gave me.
Nice.
Yeah, Maddie, we'll talk later.
Awesome.
Oh, Trey is continuously on the top. Nice.
Yeah. Maybe I think that was not.
We use Excel and make 10 line formulas.
I have seen that. Wouldn't recommend.
Did I see Andrew G on the second place? Was that correct?
Maybe.
Mhm.
I have to check. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. So there is a clean step. I know that the pivot option after join was also something that Klaus used, but you first use the clean step in order to view the data and make changes in the data. That's the the easiest place to make changes. Oh yeah, Andrew.
Yeah.
Awesome. Sam.
There you
Okay.
go.
Oh, Trey. Awesome. We have new people. I think it's wage. But yeah, this should be pretty simple. Hopefully, if you paid attention to the last steps, you can always use Excel, which
Which we have transitioned to Tableau now with today's
yeah,
session.
you can get the dates in Excel before, but that's not what this is about.
Yes.
I sometimes get questions. What does the make date function do? And I mean, the answer is quite obvious, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to change the wording so many times to make sure I got make out of the question.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, he used the make date function, and then the day was not is in a string form function, string data type, so he had to change it to an integer to get it to
Yeah.
work. Awesome. Oh my god,
Awesome.
we have new people on the board.
Yep.
Up to true and false. It's pretty simple, I hope, but it's a screenshot I randomly grabbed, but I think he mentioned something really quickly.
And yet you caught that as a question. Awesome, Laura.
Awesome. Yeah, you can join data in Tableau Desktop as well.
Yes.
Let's see. Oh wow. Oh wow, Trey. Amazing. Andrew, I see you. Let me see.
Yep.
Let's go into it. I have some extra questions in here. So we do have a community. I know it's not just words we throw around. We do have a community. It's not the TV show. We do have a community. When we are called Data Fam for Tableau community, which is real. I have like a backpack with it. Viraj has a T-shirt on it with it, so it's not just a made up word. yes, one of the ways is, yeah, please don't contact Kimberly Scott to ask. You can definitely contact her, but yeah, don't just ask her how to join Tableau Public.
Data
Yeah,
fam.
you can see his shirt. That's a real thing.
Yes. And data fam is real.
Oh, Andrew. Okay, awesome. Yeah, you
Nice.
did the presentation. Let's go on to the next question. That's not published. It's supposed to be published. I forgot the P.
The P is in the public, so that's fine.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. Yeah. Yeah, you can do all of the. You can do download workbooks. You can publish your work as well on Tableau Public. So the only thing you can do is access Tableau Prep, and you need a creator license to do that. Andrew, awesome. I might exclude you for that, Andrew. This is a random screenshot I took from what Marissa was presenting. So I saw that and I
Don't
was
worry,
like,
I'll admit myself from these next few questions here because I don't think I should be the one.
Go
I
for
was
it.
more
Go
I was
for
more
it.
nervous. I was more nervous about making sure I got the product quiz questions right because
oh yeah, no,
that's
yeah,
always something that we get nervous
awesome.
about.
So I don't know if you saw the slide that she had, but it's all the above. She had all of these things written on there. So, which is amazing. I had no idea about Global Trailblazer community. So that's a wonderful. I do know about Trailblazer, but this is wonderful. Let's go on to the next one. Andrew, awesome. Okay, it's a true and false. So this should be hopefully simple. Yeah, you can. They're actually free. You don't have to pay for them. I do love Tableau Public.
You have to
Let's
find
see.
out who these three people are.
Might be
I'll
Andrew,
drop it
so I
down.
might have to exclude you. Sorry.
One of them was me. I was trying to.
If it was you,
to
I'll
game
just
my-
judge you. Yeah, you're number two. I'm gonna.
Uh,
Let's see. It's probably. I hope it's
Chaji.
Trey. Oh, Tuggy.
Chaj.
Oh, awesome. Ooh,
Tuggy.
okay. Awesome.
Well, you get
Congrats,
bragging
everybody.
rights, Dougie.
Yes.
Yeah,
Nice.
absolutely.
Great
I had a
work.
question about who's having tea, but I'm not sure who it is. Somebody heard a cup, I think. But
Okay.
awesome. Thank you, guys. I'll stop
Klaus,
sharing.
if you pull up the last slide, then we can finish off here.
Yeah, just a second.
Okay. I want to thank you all for being here today, and I want to invite you to join us again on March the 6th, where Ken and Kevin Flerledge are going to be our guest speakers. And if you're new to the community and don't know Ken and Kevin, you're in for a real treat. You can scan the QR code there and sign up right now, or you can sign up later. Thank you for being with us today. We had a great time. I hope you all enjoyed yourself. I hope you found value. Please give us some feedback. If you want to see something in the future, if you want a topic, you want us to address a topic in the future, put it in the chat, or you can reach out to us directly from the landing page at the Newbie Group landing page. Thank you very much.
Thank
Bye
you,
now.
Andrew. Thank you, Andrew, Marissa, for being with us
Thank
today.
you.
Was
Yeah,
a
thanks
pleasure.
for joining me, and thanks to everyone on the leader group for all your time to volunteer with the community. We really
Andrew,
appreciate it.
Andrew and the speakers, if you'll stay for just 1 minute.
Sounds
Okay.
good.
Once we stop recording, we can.
Yes, I'll stop the recording now.